All right, tonight we're going to head to Minnesota, where a federal jury has found former Minneapolis police officers Tou Thao, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane guilty of violating George Floyd's civil rights. The three officers were found guilty of depriving Floyd of his civil rights by showing deliberate indifference to his medical needs as Derek Chauvin knelt on Floyd for more than 9 minutes back in May of 2020. The jury also found King and Thao guilty for failing to intervene to stop Chauvin from using excessive force. Thao, King, and Lane each face up to life in prison. Tonight, I've got my legal experts here to help unpack all of this. Former prosecutor Leslie Ricard Chambers and former criminal defense attorney Lauren Prater. Glad to have you both on. Listen, I just want to get reaction from the both of you on this verdict. Is it what you expected, and do you agree with each of the verdicts returned? Leslie, to you first.
Of course, I agree with the verdicts that were returned, Yodit. I mean, this is a long time coming, and this is exactly what we need to see from the Department of Justice right now in this social justice and climate, with all of the cases that are going on across the country, including the Ahmaud Arbery case. We need to see a DOJ that is setting the precedent that these types of cases, these types of crimes from folks who are law enforcement officials, folks who want to be law enforcement officials, that this was rated. And so it is great to see that this case was tried, and that all three of these defendants were found guilty as charged. And it's especially icing on the cake to know that two of the officers were found guilty of additional charges.
Lauren, what about you? Your reaction? I mean, these verdicts came in just under 2 days. Was it long enough for three individuals who had three different roles that they played that day?
You know, the length of time isn't really what's getting me. It's the ultimate verdict. Today was a wonderful day on this beautiful February and Black History Month. This was something that has been long awaited. Accountability is something that is extremely necessary in this justice system. And it's something that, you know, we as Black people don't get to see very frequently. So today was certainly a victory. Today was a day that we can celebrate that the justice system worked. There is a value to Black lives. You cannot just sit back and watch while someone is treated like an animal. So ultimately the verdict came in. I'm thrilled with the verdict. I'm not surprised by the verdict. And I'm hoping that this sets the precedent for, juries down the line. Go with what you believe is right. Go with the law and put a value on our brothers and sisters' lives.
Well, now all three officers, including Derek Chauvin, have been found guilty. Leslie, what does this verdict actually signal to law enforcement in this country?
Well, it signals a couple of things. It signals that under the color of the law, that you can't violate someone's rights. And in this particular case, when a person, a citizen, whether they are under suspicion of any crime, when that person tells you that they can't breathe or that something is wrong, that just because they are the subject of a criminal investigation doesn't give law enforcement the right to violate their rights to the degree that they completely ignore all of those medical related signals, right? And also this sets a precedent that you shouldn't ignore the concerns of others. If you remember, during the stage trial of Derek Chauvin, there was a medic, an EMS person, I believe, or a fire person trained in as a firefighter, I believe. She testified that she understood that George Floyd was in a position where his life was in danger, and that she could tell that when he said that he could not breathe, the sound of his voice and just the nature in which Chauvin was holding him down was definitely indicative of somebody really could not breathe. And so what this trial says, as it pertains to the DOJ is establishing now, is that law enforcement, we are putting you on alert that you are no longer emboldened. You shouldn't feel emboldened any longer to violate someone's rights and to completely ignore all of the signs that people who are in these types of positions, that when their lives are in danger and when they tell you that their lives are in danger, that you need to adhere to it, regardless of whether they are the subject of criminal activity or not.
Lauren, each of these officers testified in trial, and they conceded that they did have a duty to intervene, but the defense did argue that MPD, their department, taught these officers differently, that their training on intervening was inadequate, and that they should always obey the orders of their superiors. So how might this verdict change policy within departments, within the MPD department specifically, but departments overall, and including the fear that officers have when it comes to retribution if they were to intervene?
Yeah, I think that this verdict shows that if you do not intervene, that you too will be subject to the law, right? Again, as I was saying before, this whole lawsuit right here is about accountability. And as my colleague said, this is a really important time for officers to understand that nobody is above the law. Everybody has rights, and you cannot violate somebody else's rights because you essentially are in uniform. So I think, again, this is going to really, really make all police departments reevaluate their policies and put stricter consequences in if you do not say something or do something, if your officers are in fact doing something that could be hurting a member of our community. And even if your chief is saying this is okay, if this is something that you know is inherently wrong, I, there has to be some sort of accountability, not just within the law, but again, within these different departments to make sure that these officers are being held accountable.
So, Leslie, now all three officers are facing up to life in prison. And we just watched a judge down the street, basically sentence Kim Potter, another former Minnesota officer, to 24 months for killing Daunte Wright. Of course, this is a different set of facts, different law applied here, but what is the same is that we're dealing with officers. So what might we see happen in this case when it comes to sentencing?
That is a really good question, Yodit. And I can tell you, my years as a prosecutor have taught me that you really can't predict what courts are going to do. I don't think anyone even predicted that the judge in the Kim Potter case was going to come back with such a low sentencing range, even considering all of the facts that were presented in the case. But, I think that the difference here is that you've got two courts now that have been involved in the cases involving all four of these officers. We've seen on the state side how the Chauvin trial brought out all these new facts, set a lot of new precedents, and really established a lot of new law, if you will, and really revealed the fact that police departments do have policies in place where officers are supposed to intervene when they see other officers not adhering to the standards, right? And so I think we're going to see in sentencing at least more accountability, especially with that sentencing range being broad. These officers, the court, I think, is going to capture better the fact that these officers' failure to act on top of the additional crimes for which they were, the two of the officers were convicted. They're going to take the court is going to take the totality of all of that and probably render a more stiffer penalty than what we saw in the Kim Potter case.
Lauren, your thoughts on this final question of whether these officers will spend some time in prison?
I certainly hope so. The facts of this case are extremely egregious. This is a case of compassion. And I think that any judge presiding over this case is going to be able to look at the facts, look at what was presented in court, and make sure that these officers spend some time, again, that magic key word, having some sort of accountability for their actions. I know that courtroom is going to be a little spicy. It's going to be contentious during sentencing, but overall, the jury has spoken, the verdict has been rendered, and America is outraged. And I would find it very difficult for any judge presiding over a case like this to not think that these defendants should be required to spend a good amount of time in prison. They took someone's life, or they were just as responsible for George Floyd losing his life. And again, I think that they will be sentenced accordingly.
All right, Leslie, Lauren, we're coming up on a break, but please stand by because there's still more to discuss about today's verdict. So when we return after the break, we've got more Making the Case.
Black News Channel needs your help to crush its goal of 2 million daily viewers. With more than 40 million Black people across the country, BNC needs at least 2 million to watch. It's easy. Watch 2 shows 15 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. Share BNC with 5 friends weekly. BNC's March to 2 million daily viewers. Help make Black History Month on TV a year-long reality. The time is now. Closed captioning brought to you by Nutrisystem. Lose weight with America's #1 home delivery weight loss plan.
Nutrisystem has answered the bell with menu items that are new for 2022, including new premium meals and restaurant favorites. Go online and get 50% off. Start losing weight today.
Hi, I'm Dante King, author of The 400-Year Holocaust. I'm very excited to announce the release of my new book and let you know that it is now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, iBook, Nook, Kobo, and Scribd. It's also available at my website, DanteKing.com. Please purchase your copy now.
A federal jury has found former Minneapolis police officers Tou Thao, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane guilty of violating the civil rights of George Floyd. All 3 now face up to life in prison. Still with me are my legal experts, former prosecutor Leslie Ricard Chambers and former criminal defense attorney Lauren Prater. All right, guys, so with this guilty verdict, I mean, things aren't necessarily over for these 3 defendants. All 3 still face trial in Hennepin County District Court in June on charges that they aided and abetted Chauvin. Leslie, we talk about how, one trial shouldn't have impacted the other or influenced the other. But jurors are jurors. They're lay people. They're not lawyers. They don't know how to compartmentalize these things. But could the federal charges here affect what may happen in their state trial?
I think that if you think about the context of the election, they and the defense are going to question the jurors about, number one, they know about all trials, all of the and so the key here is to the prosecutors and the defense to secure answers from potential jurors. They can be fair and impartial, and forget everything that they know or think that they know about the prior cases that have already been adjudicated, right? And yes, you are right, Yodit, they are human beings. Human nature is to sort of adopt or incorporate what they already know that's been played out in the media and what they know were the results of these cases. But I think that the important thing that, that they're going to have to, the court, jury management is really going to have to do a good job of identifying citizens who have not been called into jury service before, and just really start from scratch. And hopefully they're able to solicit folks who are, yes, familiar, but might bent, if you will, on a conclusion about what these have done, incorporating what has happened in all these in court.
Lauren, we saw Derek Chauvin go through his state trial. He was found guilty of murder, and then he pled guilty to his federal trial that came after. Here, it's happening in the opposite way, right? These officers first had their federal trial, they were found guilty, and now they're looking forward to their state trial. Could you see them possibly pleading guilty to those charges?
I don't actually. If I were their defense attorney, I would say, let's at least give it a shot, especially if they make a comparison during sentencing. I certainly don't imagine that these defendants would plead guilty to such charges, what do you have to lose at that point? If you're able to go to trial, maybe you get a good jury. Like my colleague said, maybe you do a really good job in jury selection in that voir dire process, and you're able to get a jury that somehow or another, despite these facts, you may be able to get that not guilty. So I don't think they're going to plea. Would it, I'm sure, give the family some more closure to see them just actually admit their liability? I'm certain that it would, but I just don't imagine with the severity of these charges that we're going to see a straight guilty plea to these substantial charges.
All right, Lauren, let's move on to another trial we're covering. Testimony continued today in the trial for Brett Hankinson, the former Louisville, Kentucky police officer charged in connection to the raid that led to the death of Breonna Taylor back in March of 2020. He's facing charges related to the alleged endangerment of others at the scene of Taylor's killing. Give me your general thoughts about this officer, and the prosecution's opening statements yesterday saying and invoking Breonna's name for the first time and making it very clear that this isn't about Breonna's killing, that this was separate and apart, that this trial is about, this defendant endangering the neighbors of Breonna, but also mentioning this multi-million-dollar settlement and that Breonna should not have died. What do you think that is going to do, or is that planting a seed in the minds of jurors who, one, should separate the two, but can they, knowing that information?
I'm not sure if the jurors will be able to separate the two, but what I do think is that the jurors are really going to be looking and fixated at the facts here. This is an officer that went in during a raid, was extremely overzealous, and ultimately ended up slaying this innocent woman. I think that overall the juries are very intelligent, but of course they are emotionally driven. So there is going to be some overlap. But I think that overall, the jury is going to look at the facts of this case. They're going to look at and evaluate all of the evidence that was presented by both parties. And ultimately, I'm hoping that they come up with a verdict that is reflective of what I have seen the facts to show, that this defendant would be guilty of the murder of Breonna Taylor.
Well, the jury did hear from one of Taylor's neighbors, Aaron Sarpy. He testified that police did not identify themselves before entering Taylor's apartment, and then prosecutors played a taped conversation between the defendant Hankinson and detectives in which he said that police did identify themselves. Could the discrepancy there, especially since we've been hearing about how this raid unfolded, right, from both sides, especially the Kentucky AG there, Daniel Cameron, where they consistently asserted that there was an announcement made, and here we hear a neighbor saying, no, there wasn't. Could that be harder for the defense, even though they made clear that this isn't about how the raid unfolded or whether the no-knock warrant was even justified?
Absolutely. I think the defense obviously is going to want to poke holes in the state's case by establishing some sort of reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is, the lack of evidence, the evidence itself, or the conflicts in the evidence. But in this case, I think that the conflicts in the evidence is not necessarily going to lend towards the defense. I think that juries are going to, again, look at the facts of this case, look at the charges, look at the emotion that's ultimately infused in this courtroom, and they're going to want something to hang their hat on. I think if you give the jury that testimony that no, they didn't go ahead and announce themselves, that's a pivotal issue. And I think it's actually that whole reasonable doubt analysis is going to work against the defense and may actually lend towards the prosecutors, because I think juries are going to be wanting to say, look, police officers, you have an obligation. We have a witness saying that you guys didn't follow protocol. I think that this witness does not have a dog in the fight. So at this point, I think her testimony is more credible. And I think that they will ultimately use that against the defense. And I'm hoping that, again, that goes more towards the prosecution to get that verdict of guilty.
And using that against the defense and using the actual conversation, Hankinson's words against him, because he did make clear to the court that he planned on testifying, which of course that can change at any point in time. He has a right not to. But do you think that given the discrepancy here, that he may still want to take the stand? Because he's going to be asked about that.
I think he's going to want to, and I'm sure that his defense attorneys are probably going to encourage him. But I tell you what, if he does not come across extremely compelling, believable, empathetic, then this could just be suicide for him on the stand. But kind of like what I said earlier, like, what do you have to lose at this point? You know, that he's fighting for his life. So I imagine that he's going to go up there. He's going to want to tell his side of the story. Again, juries get to weigh the credibility of the evidence. I'm sure the defense attorneys are going to make a good pitch and say he had the right to remain silent, but he risked it all today to come up here and tell you all the truth. I mean, I'm sure they're going to make that pitch, but it's all going to come down to, you know, is he credible? And I think when you ultimately evaluate both of, all of the witnesses' testimonies, he has the most to lose. So obviously, if I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to say he has reason to come up here and be dishonest versus a witness that does not have any dog in the fight.
All right, Attorney Lauren Prater, thank you so much for your time tonight and your expertise. Appreciate you.